Ah, there you are. I've been looking for you. Have you been looking for me? Many of you know me as Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire. Well, I'm no longer that man. Now, I'm Preacher Moss, the Zakat collector. I'm here to bring Zakat back. And who better to do that with than the OGs of Zakat, Zakat Foundation of America. I'll be bringing together top scholars, community folks, economists, and celebrities to help demystify Zakat. Oh, and don't worry if you haven't paid your Zakat. I'll be coming by to pick it up personally. Me, Preacher Moss, the Zakat collector.
Thing a person laughs at when they slam their hand in the car door and when it's about to heal. The problem is almost over. As Martin Luther King said, Jim Crow is dead in the South. It's just a matter of how expensive they want to make the funeral. You can always laugh at...
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Miles, host of the Shout Out Show, the S.O.S. Hope you're off to a wonderful weekend. You know it's Friday. You know what that means. It is Friday Funnies here on the S.O.S. Like I said, before we get into any of the Friday Funnies, I want to thank several people for making this happen. Let's give a shout out to Sister Sultana Whitfield, who's making it happen even though she's not feeling well. Big shout out to my mom, who's recovering. Big shout out to Miss Eleanor. Big shout out to Maxine BK. Big shout out to Clifford Moss Senior, Junior, and Senior. Why not Senior? And I just want to make sure everybody's in a good space today. I'm going to take us back. We're going to try and go 2 days back to back. Yesterday's episode was Remember That First Job, Your First Real Job. Well, today is going to be one of those epiphany shows. The epiphany show is when you realize something magical or surreal or relevant about your life. And we'll be getting that to a moment. Get to that in a moment. I hope you guys like the clip there. Shout out to Big Dick, Mr. Dick Gregory, who was my mentor, my comedy mentor, for all the things I've been able to do until Allah made me funny, as mainstream, with the Muslim audience. I owe that man a huge debt of gratitude because he really inspired me and challenged me to present the type of comedy that I was going to be doing before Allah made me funny, and I was dealing with race and issues, but also dealing with religion, but also the idea that I could take this comedy and pull together not just Muslims and non-Muslims, but also try to pull together Muslims so that we can have a unification, that we can have solidarity, that we can have a unified front for all the things that were going on with us, particularly with 9/11. So shout out to Mr. Dick Gregory, and I'm here to tell you that is one of the finest comedians you are ever going to see. So if you like me, bypass me on YouTube. Go and watch Mr. Dick Gregory and learn. Even though I've seen these clips for a long time, I'm going to tell you, every time I watch it, it's just a little bit more nuance and understanding just how much of a craftsman and a skills person he was with language and linguistics. So, with that being said, let me welcome people. If it's your first time coming to the Shout Out Show, God bless you. Where you been? We've been here over a year. That's not really what I wanted to say. Actually, it is. But look, I just want to say thank you for being here at this place in this particular time for this 30 minutes to share with us. You know, you didn't have to be any place. And one thing I want to make sure that I do as the host is make sure every show I let other people know I'm thankful. Because it doesn't happen like this. You know, we're not a big finance show. We're not, we don't have marketing departments, you know, but what we have is a great show with great people and a lot of heart. And that's why we were able to keep doing the show. So thank you. So if it's your first time, prepare for the S.O.S. experience, the Shout Out Show experience. Jump right in. That's what we tell people. Jump right in. Get into the comment section. Let us know what you're thinking about. Share your thoughts. Let us know who you are, because we're definitely going to let you know who we are. Who we are, the Shout Out Show community, the Shout Out Show family, the Shout Out Show soldiers. We are exactly that, a community. A community of intellectuals, a community of artists, a community of business people. We cover all of that. So, I just want to make sure we get that out to you. And a special note, on Sunday Potluck, we will be joined by Mr. Richard Sclafford, who will be talking about the cryptocurrency market. Not just cryptocurrency, but the market, how you move your money. Because a lot of people think that cryptocurrency is just Bitcoin. No, it's different coins that people are beginning to understand. And there are different coins that you can make money with if you're putting them in there and following some suggestions and processes he's worked with. We are grateful to have him on Sunday. All right. Also a note, Saturday Spotlight, I will not be here. Sister Sultana will be manning the ship. I have an event to do, Ramadan Extravaganza with the Nation of Islam. I will be helping them out and lending some talent to them. I hope you guys don't mind. I probably will peek in on the show. I'm not going to say I'm not. I'm probably going to peek in on the show, but I just want to give you a heads up that you are in more than capable hands. Now, speaking about being in more than capable hands, let's get to the people who make the show. The show, who we got today? We have Sister Ree, who is the craft services director. She is the show dietitian. She is the health inspector. She makes sure that we are doing well. I always say that, Ree, thank you so much for coming on the show. And we appreciate everything you do for the show, and as well personally what you do for my family. So that said, I want to make sure that you're doing well, and I want to hear good reports about your health improving and being stable and all those type of things. And like I said, if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. Big shout out to Ree. Next up, All Tough Rashid. Brothers and sisters, if you're tuning in on the show, this is special because we are the only show that has an ambassador. All Tough Rashid is the Canadian ambassador to the S.O.S, the shout out show. He is here to make sure everything moves smoothly. There's no hiccups at the border. There's no immigration issues. And if you have some money that you want to transfer into U.S. dollars or to Canadian money, he's the guy to do it. But we are more than happy to have him on the show. All Tough Rashid. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much, brother. I hope this topic I'm going to bring up today, you'll get a kick out of it. I think all of us will get a kick out of it because, you know, it's universal. It's a universal topic. I'm looking forward to talking about it. Who we got next? Sister Rabina Childry. Where have you been, Sister Rabina? I got your stuff on the DM on Instagram. Interesting stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it is not an easy chore because, why? You are over in the UK, and it's after 11 over there. And if it were me and the others, we were switching places, I can't honestly tell you that I'd be awake at 11 o'clock for a show. So, with that said, let me say 1, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and 2, Ramadan Mubarak, sister. We are moving through this blessed month. Ramadan Mubarak. Thank you so much, Sister Rabina. We appreciate you. Next up, my little brother who's fasting along with me. Big shout out everybody for JT. My little brother JT, better known as Johnny L. Thomas. That's his government name, but to me, he'll be JT just like we were on an episode of the first 48. Big ups, little brother. Thanks so much for tuning in and making the show what it is. Appreciate you. Hope all is well with the family, with your queen Yolanda and your 2 young kings, Justin and Jordan, and of course the big queen, Maisie Thomas, and your sisters Vivian and Eunice. Thank you for tuning in, brother. We appreciate you. What we got here? Oh, Ree says she's doing well today. All right, Ree. All right, Ree. Let me see. Ree says she's doing all. That should be like a. That should be a number in a dream book. Ree's doing all right today. That should be like 526. Hey, Ree, I just gave you a dream book number. Ree's feeling strong. 526. All right. So we appreciate you, Ree. I'm glad. Thank you for sharing. And alhamdulillah, we're very happy to hear that you're feeling spry. Okay. Who we got next? My mom said, "Oh, you couldn't hear the clip." Oh my. Wow. I'm so sorry, people. I thought I had the sound hooked up. I don't know why you couldn't hear the clip. I don't know why you couldn't hear the clip. I had it set up appropriately, but I guess these things happen, brothers and sisters. You know, I try different things on the shout out show sometimes and run clips, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. I guess this was the time that it actually didn't work. I'm not happy about it, but you know, I'm blessed in so many other ways. I can live with the clip not playing. So I have to forgive, and actually that's my fault. I realized what I didn't do. That's my fault. The clip played fine. I didn't do something on my end, so forgive me for that. Okay. Who we got up here? And we got, of course, Sister Sultana. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Juma Mubarak. Ramadan Mubarak. Our sister is toughing it out today, brothers and sisters. So give Sister Sultana, give her a hand. She's not feeling well. She's trying to fight through a headache. And the last thing she needs to be doing is looking at this good-looking black man through a screen. I'm just kidding. I couldn't do that. All right. So here's the subject matter for today, brothers. Friday Funnies is this one. When you thought you were grown. Now, everybody has gone through a part when they mature and they go through puberty, and at some point in time, puberty kicks in, and you start thinking that you are grown. Let me break down grown for you. Grown, in the dictionary, means an adult, a mature adult. But let me tell you what it means in a lot of black households and minority households. When they say, "Oh, you think you grown," it's not a good thing. If an adult goes, "Oh, you think you grown," it's not a good thing. Like maybe in Becky's house, "Oh, you think you're grown?" She says, "Yes, Mom, I am." Maybe that's a thing. But my point is this: in a black household, when somebody says, "You think you're grown," this is what they're saying. You think you don't have to abide by my rules. That's number one. You're not respecting. You're not respecting who I am. Answer the phone. My mom does not answer the phone. Who always calls at this time? I just want to know. All right, thank you. You know, by the way, Buns, my mom is doing better. My mother's doing better. As you can say, she's feisty. But in when I was growing up, and anybody can jump in on this, particularly when you're a black kid, and your mom or your dad said something to you in these words: "Oh, you think you a man." They didn't think you a man. "Oh, you think you grown." It's not a good thing because it's perceived as you are challenging the status quo and the rules that they had set in the house. It may have been something that maybe you didn't come in on time from curfew. Maybe you didn't take care of a chore you're supposed to take care of. And that's all speculative. Everybody has a moment. Mine was my dad told me to do something, and I told him I'll get to it. Now let me explain this. My dad is not a guy you tell I'll get to it. Neither is my mom. But my dad asked me to cut some grass. Now, brothers and sisters, let's just say I didn't feel like cutting the grass. What I needed to tell him was, instead of "I don't want to cut the grass, I don't feel like it," I needed to say that, but it needed to sound like, "No problem, I got it." Didn't do it. So my father said, he goes, and when a parent asks you, "You think you grown?" Let me help everybody out. It's a rhetorical question. They're not looking for an answer from you. You know why? Because you're not an adult. You're not grown. When an adult asks you a rhetorical question, just shut up. Don't try to explain. Like when your parent go, "Who broke this?" Don't try and figure out who broke it. You broke it. It's a rhetorical question. Do you know how many brothers go to prison because they answer rhetorical questions? Exactly. So I don't want anybody to go to prison. I don't want anybody to wind up in the hospital. But my father said to me, he goes, and this is clever, he goes, "So you didn't cut the grass?" I said, "No, sir." He goes, "Well, what's the problem?" I said, "Yeah, I'll handle it later." He goes, "Oh, you gonna handle it later?" I said, "Yeah." Rhetorical question. "So what time you think you're gonna cut it? What time is good for you?" Let me back that one up. I didn't do what my dad says. He says, "So let me get this straight. You're gonna cut it when you want to." Rhetorical question. "Yeah." "What time you gonna cut it?" Rhetorical question. He didn't even ask me. Let me answer. He goes, "Hey, what time is comfortable for you?" So, I'm about 3.5 rhetorical questions down. I'm thinking we're having an adult conversation. I came around the corner and I had on a shirt. It was a nice shirt with a nice collar. The next thing you know, my collar's up around my ears and I feel at least one of my feet dangling. And I realize I'm not going through a religious experience. At this point in time, my father is subtly reminding me, "You ain't grown." Literally, you ain't. See this neck right here? That's what I look like. And he was like, "So when are we gonna cut the grass?" And then it hit me, no more rhetorical questions. I was like, "I'll do it right now." There you go. So you think you're grown. Anybody else have that thing? Like I had a cousin one time. He was supposed to he hung out all night long with his girlfriend. He hung out all night long. Didn't come home the whole night. They were looking for him. My uncle was ready to kill him. The only thing that saved him was the fact that we were coming in town to visit. Otherwise, I believe it would have been a funeral and not a family get together. If had we become a day later, it would have been a wake and not a barbecue. And I remember my mom and my aunt sitting him down. See, because when relatives, like when your aunt, uncle, your mother and father have you talk to another relative, they trying to save your life. They're literally trying to save your life. And I heard my mother go, huh. And that's a term my mothers use. Huh. That's used as a verb, a noun, and an adjective. Huh. Right after that, she goes, I guess you think you grown. Rhetorical questions. and, and I peeked through the door because I saw my cousin in deep trouble, deep trouble. And as he tried to answer, I said, I was trying, don't, it's a trap. Don't do it. I'm like, last time I fell in that trap, I wound up taller. I was here, now I'm here. Thanks, Clifford Moss Jr. When's the last time, when do you think you were, when's that situation you thought you were grown and you were wrong? When's the time you thought I'll tell a story. Let me see here, Rabina. Unfortunately, being the oldest child, my dad told me I was grown from the age of 3, and apparently I'm responsible for the behavior of the rest of my siblings. Okay, I get that. If parents called us, we always responded with yes, I'm coming. Okay, I got you. You don't want any rhetorical questions. I don't want them either. And part of getting rhetorical questions is you think you slick. You think you know. Oh, staying out late is definitely a grown moment. That is it. Sister Satana, you hit it on the head. Staying out late is definitely and this is before you had cell phones. You see what I'm saying? This is before you had cell phones. This is when you had pay phones. No cell phones, no pagers. When your parents gave you the street light analogy, here's the way it will work. If you got home before the street lights came on and you asked them if you can go back out, that was your permission to go back out. But if you didn't come home the whole time, you'd be playing basketball. And I don't know if it's ever happened to you. I was playing basketball and I looked up and I saw this Lincoln Continental coming down the trail to the basketball court. Ain't nothing worse than having your father front you off in front of all of your friends. Now, my friends were like, they laughing, but they in the same boat. It's just that their fathers didn't come get them yet. Boy, when your father yells, my dad, if he could get a master's for putting curse words together when he's upset, he would have gotten a master's and a PhD at the same time. The whole thing is, you just didn't want to make him mad. You had to push him to make him mad. Boy, my dad yelled something out of the window. It was so bad, all the other kids went home too. Like, they felt like he was their dad too. And then the killer part, my dad said, you better get your home. Here's the funny part. He turned around in the car and left. He didn't give me a ride. I'm literally trying to run through the park to beat my dad home to get in the house because I'm realizing the whole time I'm running, I ain't grown. I am not grown. Anybody have any more stories, comments about when they thought they were grown? Feel free. Let's see. Being from the South, you better ask. I'm going to assume that's ask. Yes, ask. Well, you know what? There's a certain genteelness. And I will say this. Families that came from the South, in regards almost like families that migrate, immigrants that come to the country. People that come from the South, they migrate, they migrate to the North, and the North has different styles, has different behaviors. So it's always a crash, if you will. But I always learn to say yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, thank you, no, thank you. Those things will save your life, especially. But I would say they'll save your life because if you put them in front of things or at the end of a sentence, you know what? It lets people know you may be growing, you may be getting bigger, but you're not disrespectful. You're smart, you're intelligent, you know how to work a conversation, but you're not over the top. Because we all had some kid who pushed us when we were ready to go home. Like, what, you got to go home and check in with your mama? I was like, you don't know my mama. Yes. Would your daddy run you? I'm like, hell yeah, my daddy run. You just see him just drive here and not give me a ride back to my house. Now I say these things because, in some regards, I feel like kids grow up too quick. I feel like kids grow up too quick. What we got here, Alta? Responding while getting yelled at to the responding while getting yelled at, you get the you think you're grown question. Absolutely. I'm saying that this is a universal thing. And the funny part is, if you sit down and talk to your parents, your mother and father, your grandfather, they're also going to tell you of a point in their lives where they thought they were grown and got the smack down. I mean, it's an equitable kind of understanding that's shared across, and you laugh about it. But the thing I want to make sure that I don't go too far overboard with this is the fact that this is an important process of learning how to mature. It's an important process, so as you get bigger, you respect the relationship that you have with your mom and your dad. As you become an adult, they're already an adult. They've watched you grow into a certain amount of maturity, grow into conversations, grow into actions, grow into manhood, have your families, become moms, and all those type of things because they have, in many regards, groomed made a pathway for you to get there. So the whole idea, if you think you've grown, is the fact that they're going, what did you show me? What did you do to get to this point? How am I supposed to equate what you're doing with somehow you are in charge of you? We're not. They let us think we're in charge of ourselves. 16, 17, 18. Yeah, they say age ain't nothing but a number. A lot of us, some of us, still living in our mama's basement. And we 54, 55 years old living in my mom's basement. We ain't never left. So, that said, what you got for me? You better. I do the yes ma'am and the yes sir, yes ma'am type of deal too, and that's just out of respect. Thank you, mama, son. I do that out of respect, and it's not like I have to do it. It's just that it's a process. It's a process. When I get older, I don't want some 15-year-old kid calling me by my name. Hey, preach. I'm like, no, Mr. Moss, and you learn that. You learn that. So before we bounce, I just want to run a quick ad for one of our sponsors. I'd like to quickly run our band Islamic graduate ad. We're going to take a break and we're going to come right back. You guys have been great. Remember, oh, you think you grown. Let's go ahead and run that ad. Yo, assalamu alaikum. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire, but I like to add a new title to my name. I'm Professor Preacher Moss. You know why? Because I just graduated. Wait a minute, let me get this out of here. This is it. Okay. I'm Professor Preacher Moss, and it's come through the courtesy and the blessing of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, which came through Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Now, listen, I know a lot of you people are thinking, can I do it? Yes, you can do it. This is the part where I know I'm supposed to say it's easy. It's not easy. Listen, it was easy to get this degree. Trump would be a mufti. I digress. Listen though, for you brothers and sisters that are interested, go to bayanonline.org and you could be like me. Put yourself in the picture for Islamic education. Wait a minute, there's the picture right there. Sound like everybody. Take care. Preach them all. All right, we got some more comments. We'll get those up. Yes, when neighbors disciplined you, that was I never got disciplined by the neighbors, got talked to. Never got disciplined by the neighbors. You had to do something really, really wrong to get disciplined by the neighbors. You had to do something really, really wrong to get disciplined by somebody in your family that wasn't your mother or father. And they wouldn't really do something. They would You wouldn't get tightened up as a kid. They would tell your parents and blow the story out of hand so you don't get killed. Sister Rabina has something she wanted to share. All right. All right, that's real talk. That's real talk. My dad once phoned my work, said I did not come home by 11 as I was on a work detail. Did not do such in a manner that even my director said, hold on, I'll just get it. Yo, real talk. You never really grow out of it. It's really grow out of it. And I appreciate that. I think that's the abundance of parenthood, that it never really ends. So you have to celebrate that. So listen, we're going to wrap up. I want to get a shout out for our other sponsor, please. I want everybody to please check out and support BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. If you don't want to go to the website, you can call 1-800-679-3175. Again, that's 1-800-679-3175. And you could talk to the queen of financial literacy. That'd be Maxine B. Cade, attorney, Esquire. All right. So make sure you check that out. And again, shout out for Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Want to thank them again. If you're interested in Bayan, I really want to say that spiritual literacy, that theological foundation to help you help others in the world and serve this creation, I would encourage you to go to bayanonline.org. Again, that's bayanonline.org. So those are our sponsors, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com and bayanonline.org. Listen, everybody, it's been a great show. Inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, I would definitely see you on Sunday. I appreciate you. God bless. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's Preacher Moss, The Shadow Show. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Attar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifattar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.